What's up guys, Matt Spouse, and today we've got an update video. I got a lot of things to talk about, so let's get right into it. So first things first, I'm almost hit 1,500 subscribers. So I'm going to treat this as such. Thank everybody for subscribing and commenting and liking and sharing and whatever else you do in relation to the channel. Took me a while to... I never thought about 1,500. I was just like, I would like to get to 1,000 at some point, and I did, and now I'm almost at 1,500. And it's kind of like, as you count, you get bigger numbers, and it's like, oh, I'm getting close to the next thing, right? I don't think about numbers at 1,300 because I'm just at 1,300, but now I'm at almost 5, 1500. And then it's like, oh, I'm a little bit closer to 1,600 and 1,700, and then I'm close to 2,000. And you just start to think of, the next number, which is cool. I like being in that upper half, that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range as opposed to the 1, 2, 3, 4 range. So being halfway to 2,000 is pretty cool. So thank you to everybody who's been watching and subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing, whatever else. Means a lot. And it definitely makes it more motivating to make videos than if nobody watched at all. So yeah, next thing is I want to talk about Clippy. I have Clippy in my icon right now to support the right to own. And really, yeah, I'm not an editor. I'm not actively going into the consumer rights wiki and editing it or anything like that. I'm not a writer, not an editor. But I figure I can use my platform to at least help everybody be informed and aware of things going on, and tell you at the very least that you should be. If you really pay attention to it, you see a lot of instances where either because there's no laws in place or loopholes, companies are slowly eroding, your ownership of things. More subscription services and even terms of service that say, oh, well, you don't actually own this, you're leasing it from us essentially, things like that. Case in point, on different things happening, Google is making it harder. I think you have to verify yourself as a developer, or otherwise people won't be able to download your apps onto their phone. And that is crazy because if you use a computer like me, sorry, it's on the charger, so I can't move it as much. You can just naturally download applications. So Google making it harder for that on your phone is kind of crazy. I think it's just been normalized because you've always had to go through the App Store or the Play Store, but you never have to go through the Microsoft Store to download things onto your computer. I doubt iOS is like that either. Maybe they are, but I don't think they are. Are they? I know iOS, as an Apple like phones, I think you can now have a bit more freedom, or there's like a subscription service to not use the Apple Store or something. I'm not sure on Macs though if you have to, or you can just, like every other computer, download straight from a website, And Linux is just like sudo apt install, and boom, you go there, and not, sorry, the developer has not identified themselves to Google, so you cannot get this on your Android device, That's just ridiculous. And I also got an email from Google Play saying that they're going to be increasing the, making the Google Play Store way better and giving you cooler, detailed statistics on whatever you would need statistics for the fucking Play Store. And to cover the costs, we're going to be sharing more of your data with people. I know they obviously already do this, so it's Google. No getting around that, but it's just, I don't know, funny to me, I guess. Great, you're selling my data and I'm not getting anything out of it because I don't use Google Play outside of downloading apps. And I don't even always use Google Play to download apps. I download them from other places sometimes. So anyway, I think it's just good to be informed about that. So I want to at least use my platform here to bring awareness. This is the first time we're really getting a chance to talk about it. So I might bring this up in videos too a little bit if I see something that I think is particularly egregious or affects me more than other things, or things that just piss me off. I've seen that there's some things that don't really affect me particularly, but I see them and I'm like, that's ridiculous. So okay, next thing, graphics. I'm talking about graphics. I'm a graphic designer. I make my own graphics, and I try to do that. That's sometimes why series can be slow, is I'm trying to think of graphics. And to go along with the last topic, I've been using Linux on my desktop and using open source stuff. And while I have my laptop, it's been fun kind of messing around with the open source things and trying to learn them a little bit. what they can and cannot do compared to Adobe. who I could make a rant about, but I'm not going to. I might save that for another video though. But I'm still getting used to some of these things, using them, so there could be slight changes. Mainly Beat My Combo might have the other thumbnail, or I might have to create a way to get the picture with an outline. I guess I could always technically draw the outline manually or something, but that does not. It takes a steady hand, which I don't have. But yeah, I try to make my own graphics, but I figured I would mention that because I don't really talk about that either. I've got a website where you can see my portfolio. You can actually find emails on the channel, so I don't have to post that. You can just find that on my YouTube channel. But my channel page on the about. But only use that if you're looking to talk business. I'm not. If you're emailing me over something random, you're gonna get blocked. Just letting you guys know. I think my audience is mature enough to not do something stupid though. So, yeah, I thought I'd put that out there. I also do photography, and a bit of that is on my website as well. You guys can check that out if you want. But yeah, that kind of slows down some things though. It's because sometimes I need to make graphics before I do certain things. One of those I said, Beat My Combo is just an adjustment possibly, because I have to figure things out. I haven't used some of these softwares as much. The next one is tournaments, small tournaments. I want to do small tournaments, 8-blader tournaments. Use either like the 0G stadium, put the 0G on the DB10 and not use any H145, SW145, WD145, ED145, but that one does spin itself, at least parts, because that's what broke a bull. So I don't want to do that again. But things that are thinner work. And I think it's a fun stadium because, you know, unlike the 0G stadium, which moves, if it's stuck in place, it's just a big whoosh up to the top. It's a cool stadium. I haven't used it in a while. I'd also like to use my Hasbro stadiums. They're nostalgia. And it's fun flipping those over too, because then if you get caught over the ridge, you kind of get stuck a little bit because now the inside of the stadium goes up and then goes down instead of the other way, right? Normally the ridge prevents you from going further up, but if it's inverse, then you go over it and it's either real easy to go out, and if you don't go out, you get stuck on the outside, lose some spin. But with how those stadiums inside out, which not something I totally recommend, but these are old Hasbro stadiums. I'm totally fine doing it a little bit. There is usually a point that's a bit more like this, that the base can slide back in. Hard for attack base though. It'd probably be more of a stamina or a recoily match tournament, you know, for that. But I thought it'd be fun to do that. I just need a thumbnail and probably a series name for it. I don't want my thumbnails to be just the bays. I'm fine with that for battle videos, but you know, Beat My Combo, custom Beyblade tournament, CBT rewatch streams, or playthroughs, right? I want there to be some type of thumbnail. Maybe it does incorporate the bays, but I don't want it to be just strictly the bays. But I have not been able to think of something yet that I like. I have a bit of artist block when it comes to my own stuff. When it's like professional, well, okay, I shouldn't. That's about a word choice. School, client, etc., that type of stuff, I'm fine. I sketch and everything comes out well. But when it's my own stuff, I always just get like. So that's what's delayed that idea. So let's move on to Fire Emblem. So non-Beyblade series. I've always wanted to branch out, and I've always struggled with branching out because I always feel like I don't know what I'm bringing to the table exactly. Fire Emblem, I'm not that skilled a Fire Emblem player. Pokemon, everybody seems to want to do fan games right now, Nuzlocke, and I don't like that. I just like casually playing Pokemon. How much of the market is there for that? I don't know. The correct response is just do it. Just do it. Don't think about that. Just do it if you want to. So we'll get into that. But first, Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem was just a weird spot. I was getting really into Fire Emblem because I hadn't played in a while, but Switch 2 was coming, and I didn't want to play certain games until that, so my selection was a bit more limited. And I moved on to playing Fire Emblem, and I loved it. It was great. I started a playthrough of it, and then I got the Switch 2. There was like a month-long delay, a 2-week delay. The last 2 parts haven't done well at all, and I have no idea what if I'm gonna. I do not know when the next part is going to be. If I'm going to continue it, how I'm going to continue it, we will see. Thought about streaming it. Maybe that could be fun. Maybe we stream Fire Emblem. We'll see how that goes. But I don't know. Up in the water, up in the air, up in the air for now. Not up in the water. That'd be weird. The water is floating. There's water right here. Up in the air. Other thing related to streaming, I've thought about doing Pokemon because, well, I've done Pokemon in the past, but I had an idea. I played through Ruby about a year ago, I think, and I really liked it. I was like, man, this was fun. This was a great game. I loved playing it, and I used some Pokemon that I had not used before. I never made a video about that one. Okay, so if you guys seen, I make videos about the Pokemon teams I use in the past. So if I scroll down a little bit, my team Brilliant Diamond. I know I've done more of these. Have I not done more of these? Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I haven't. I talked about my Brilliant Diamond team, and I thought I talked about other ones too. But I enjoy talking about the teams I use because that's my favorite part about playing Pokemon is, you know, making teams and like building the teams and then using them and seeing how the team works as a team, Pokemon in them, if I like them or not. And that's one of my favorite things. So I think I built this team ahead of time, and it was Sceptile because I haven't used Sceptile in a while. It was Exploud, who I'd never used before. It was Manectric, who had never been on a finished playthrough for me before. Then it was Armaldo, who I'd never used. Claydol, who I never used. And was it a bird? No, it wasn't a bird. Walrein. It was Walrein. It was water type. Walrein, who I had not used before, I think, in a finished playthrough. I love Walrein, but I don't think I've used it in Pokemon. So I loved the team. It was fantastic. I'm not going to talk about the team now. Maybe I'll talk about it later. But I can't make this go too long. I loved the team. It was a great team. And that was like a year ago. And I've played some Pokemon since, you know, like I normally do. I like Pokemon, so I just play it. I usually have trouble finishing a playthrough, though, and I get distracted or stuck or I'm not in the mood anymore. Kind of what's happened with Scarlet. I've gotten, like, most of the way. I'm up to Montenerva, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this as much as I was. But anyway, I thought about, you know, back in the day I did a Pokemon type tier, or Pokemon games tier list. It was back in 2021. I don't remember what the final tier list was, but that's what it was. And I was thinking maybe it'd be fun to just play through the Pokemon games and then rank them. Go through all of them, all the mainline games, and maybe play Mystery Dungeon at some point because I love Mystery Dungeon so much. I was playing that recently while I was on vacation, and I just love Mystery Dungeon. I love Mystery Dungeon. That's such a great game. But anyway, I thought maybe it'd be cool to go through and just play them. Just play all the Pokemon games regularly, and yeah. So it's kind of up in the air because who knows? I first need to make graphics for it. Who knows how motivated I am? And I also might get somebody else in on this if they want to, but that is also, you know, who knows? So up in the air if I do it. But it was an idea I had. I thought it could be fun. I haven't played through the last time I beat Pokemon games, okay? Last time I legitimately beat two, not like some of these randomized playthroughs, which even half the time I don't always play. Sometimes I beat them, sometimes I don't. It's easier than the GBA ones, I think, but because I got a speed button. I beat Gold when I was little. I beat Fire Red. Oh, it's been years now. It's been years. Oh, this is on my channel somewhere. I feel like I've got Fire Red on my channel. Am I wrong? I could be totally wrong, but I feel like there was Fire Red somewhere. Or I mentioned it, or there was something. Can I not find the live button? Why am I stupid? It was a long time ago, but I played through Fire Red. I swear Fire Red was on here. I guess it wasn't. Okay. Okay, so there was no Fire Red. Where am I remembering it from? So I played through Fire Red probably like 10 years ago now. It was a while. I got through to the end of the game. I had to grind people because I was way under leveled. And I grinded, finished it, boom. And then stopped after like a year, and then I finished it. But that was probably close to 10 years ago now. Last time I beat Ruby was recent. I beat Ruby about a year ago or something, maybe even less. Then I've got a picture that would date it too, roughly. But Gen 4, I had the same with Platinum. I got to the end, needed to grind, didn't play it for a year, finished it. That was also like probably 8 years ago now. I mentioned this before. If you go to my oldest live stream, it's called Matt's Bay Battles live stream. It was in 2015. and that was actually the platinum team that I finished the game with. I had Raptor, Happy Feet, Luxio, Psyduck, and Badoo, and that was the team I finished. That was back before King Nappy was exposed as being some things happened. Not very appropriate things happened. But I remember because I think he had Happy Feet as a nickname, and that's what I had. And then I ended up switching this because a lot of the Pokemon I used were about half of the team was in Cooper Kashiro's GBA team, and he did Mega Man things. So I renamed like I renamed everything to be the Mega Man theme because I was like, that's kind of cool that I just coincidentally have half of my platinum team as the GBA as part of his GBA team from one of the years. Anyway, besides the point, that was probably like 8 something years ago now. Black and White, I've beaten Black and White a couple times, but I haven't beaten Black and White 2. I always get far in the game because I want to play them back to back, and then I get tired of it because it's a lot of Gen 5 at once. Same region and everything too, even though things change. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I don't think I'll actually officially beat those games, though I'm probably going to be a randomizer within a month because me and my friend have gone through. Mike has mentioned again, just personally and played through together, and we're pretty far now. I think we're on our way to go do Price. So we got Price, the Rocket stuff, 8th gym, and the end of the game. It'd probably take us 1 or 2 more sessions, and that's it. So yeah, Gen 6, I beat it recently, but again, we were playing this a long time ago, and we stopped at like the 8th gym, and I picked it up myself, and was like, I'm gonna finish this. And I did. Then Gen 7, I can't remember the last time I beat it. It was probably the last time I just beat the game straight up. I beat each of them once, I think. No, I beat Moon twice, and I beat Ultra Moon once, maybe twice. And those are the last 2 times that were short, around the time when they were the current Pokemon games. I have not beaten Sword and Shield since I beat Sword. I've beaten Scarlet and Violet a bunch of times. The last time was about a year ago, into 2023, beginning of 24 is when I beat it, I think, officially. So it's been more like a year and a half, but I was purposely kind of waiting on that to play through it again. I'm playing through Scarlet currently. But I haven't played that in like a couple, like 2 weeks or something. It's been a little bit. I haven't played this one where I switched to. So it's been like a little bit since I played a lot of these games is what I'm trying to get at. I think it'd be fun to go through and rank them afterwards, but I think it'd be fun to just kind of sit through and play Pokemon games for once. Mike has mentioned on this, but we'd have to both commit, or I'd have to commit at the very least myself. But I can't also be reliant on somebody else saying, I can't do it right now kind of thing, right? So we'll see. I gotta make graphics for that though too, no matter what. It'd be good practice, so. I'm kind of working on something now, but I'm not gonna share it because it's very, very complete. So, Fire Emblem Pokemon streaming. Last thing is cards. I got a bunch of Pokemon cards. I've got a box of Pokemon cards. The reason these aren't in the binders yet is because I realized that some of the unpackaged ones are from the same series, so I gotta put them together, but that needs to be done at some point. I need to get back to that because I always like to open Pokemon cards, and I've got a lot of Pokemon cards I've opened. And you can see the Pokemon cards behind me from Gen 6 era. I love Gen 6 era cards. They're great. So, do I want to end it off here, or do I want to talk about the other things? I think there's a couple things I was going to mention. 2 things I want to mention. Streaming. I want to stream more. I can never stream more. The biggest thing is I always want to do other things in the evening, or I'm doing other things in the evening. And, I don't want to... Because this is YouTube, I do not want to prioritize YouTube over other things. So it's not, sorry, I can't go do this because I was going to stream. If something pops up, I'm going to do that over streaming. But a lot of things, I walk in evenings. I like walking, but it's kind of tough in the, it's hot still. So it's kind of evening thing. So do I want to go stream after that? Probably have to shower too. Do I really want to do that at 8 at night? Later? No, not really. Do I want to... I like watching baseball, other sports. Football's coming back soon. That's all at night. I don't want to stream instead of doing that. So that's my issue with streaming. It's kind of hard, and we do not have AT&T fiber in the neighborhood, even though it's like down the road from us. There is a rumor that they're looking to add fiber, and that would be awesome if they do, because it would make things so much better. We had AT&T without fiber, and it was really slow. And now we have T-Mobile, and it's a lot faster, but it cuts out a couple times a day usually, like entirely, and has to reboot, and it's annoying, but it's way faster when it's not doing that. So you live with it. But having fiber would be amazing. Just, you wouldn't have to worry. That's the biggest thing right now is like with streaming. sometimes the internet can't handle it. But I do want to get into it because I think it'd be better. It's just another growth of the channel, just like shorts, which I haven't done recently. My shorts issue is as simple as I need battles that are interesting, that can be kind of short. I don't want to do a stamina match. I'm not even sure people want to watch a stamina match. So I gotta have some battle that is interesting and also short enough, basically. The other thing I could do is MF Bayer. Someone commented they are a new Beyblade YouTuber who's doing Metal Fight. Shout out to them. I mentioned them before, but they did link something for me about how to do the regular videos as like a short, and that'd be nice. I need to look into that because I could take videos that I have and make highlights of them, basically, right? Probably with that. And that would be nice because having it be the screen like this, but just small, you know? Because otherwise, like I've done it before where it zooms in automatically. I don't want that. But to be able to take the clips of videos recorded like this and basically have them be inside of this screen and then have a border up and down. So it's maybe it's a bit small, but it's still this inside of the big rectangle with, again, like kind of a border top and bottom. It at least allow me to make highlights of things without having to fully make short dedicated videos. That's the biggest reason I do shorts. I've been doing shorts, and honestly, I don't want to have to edit an extra video on the side to be uploaded as a short. I'm definitely a bit lazy when it comes to that. The other thing with streaming too is I've always, and because with branching out, why I've been done all the non-Beyblades things seem to die, is I just always feel like I don't know what I'm bringing to the table when I do those things, because Pokemon has always been like Nuzlocke or competitive. But like Nuzlocke for playthroughs, and I just don't want to do that. I'm casual, and I like playing through the regular Pokemon games, or maybe a Dragon or ROM hack, you know, or something. But I don't play the custom ones like J-Blader is doing currently. So I've always struggled with that. And same with like Fire Emblem. I'm not that skilled of a Fire Emblem player, you know. So I mean, I guess that's why I've always tried to in a way cultivate with narration too, and having me and personality instead of without that, because I think that is, I guess, important. If I'm not the best at whatever, but the answer should be I should just do it anyway, even if I'm not the best Fire Emblem player, if I'm not the best Pokemon player, or if I want to play Pokemon casually. But I question how many people are going to click on a Pokemon playthrough that isn't a Nuzlocke or a ROM hack at this point, because that's kind of what just the meta's been. It's people getting tired of regular Pokemon. But I kind of want to go back through and play the old games and just kind of experience them. I think that'd be fun. And the last thing is about CBT. Not about CBT. I really want to do like some type of league with Beyblade. I think that'd be fun, but I just can't figure out how to get it to work. Like I've got half ideas, but they always run into a problem later on. There's a gnat around here. I'm not sure. It probably isn't showing up on camera. Maybe it is. Anyway, so the issue is always, seemingly, I just can't get everything to balance right. If I do, because I thought it'd be cool to do something that was like weekly or bi-weekly, like Beat My Combo, but was like a bit more competitive like a CBT. But if it's the issues I'm having are if things are like a sport or like fantasy football or something like that, right? Fantasy sports. Real fantasy sports, not fantasy one-day betting, to be clear. The issue always is if the bays aren't really balanced in a quote-unquote division, then somebody's going to have a big advantage when it comes to wins and losses because they've got an advantage. Like a stamina type with a bunch of defense types, because you always play your division more often. If you go full-on round robin, everybody plays everybody once, then you've got the issue of, well, you might as well just do a round robin CBT at that point. Like it wouldn't be as long term, obviously, or it could be long term. It could be just a round robin CBT where the matches rotate every time. That could be the thing, but I also don't want to. I feel like I would not do a CBT at all if I did that. If it was just a round robin CBT that took longer, you know, like I did different matchups every week. And I don't really want to have the bays apart that long unless it's going to be like serious. I wouldn't want to do that for round robin CBT, I think. Maybe, but it's, yeah. So that's the other issue that comes in, is if you get to a point where it's like, well, I could just do a round robin CBT. That's a lot more balanced and a lot more fair, and probably is better than, you know, something else. So I just can't get it to work, because it always ends up being I might as well do a regular CBT or I might as well do a round robin CBT instead of doing some type of long form league type thing. I just think it'd be fun though, but I just can't get it to work. I don't know if multiple bays is the answer or what. Maybe that is. Maybe the answer is multiple bays. But the other thing too is how do you balance the divisions? Because people who get there early for making bays or parts, you know, or combos, always have a better selection. But you don't want to have a division of people who entered in the back and didn't have as good of parts, because then you've got somebody quote unquote getting an easier ride, so to speak, because the division might be balanced because it's people who didn't have as much of a selection, but you'd say that person who entered third might be better than all of those people and was just with the people who entered early, you know, type of thing. So yeah, I just can't get it to work. I really want to. I think it'd be fun, but I just cannot get it to work. I cannot, life of me, get it to a point where it's different enough from CBT that it's not just I might as well do a CBT. Anyway, so that's all I want to talk about. So thank you for listening to this. I'll try to put timestamps, but I might not put timestamps. We'll see. Because that involves me going through the video because I did not take notes on where the timestamps would be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for almost 1,500 subscribers. And yeah, if you've got any ideas you want to put in or things you want to add to the things I commented on, like Pokemon Let's Plays or mini tournaments or anything like that, or any of these things I mentioned, you want to put in your own ideas. Yeah, that's how Beat My Combo was. Ethan put in an idea, and I was like, that's a great idea. So, yeah, feel free. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.